Hey, welcome to Informal Chat. I'm Mike Kopp. Let's talk about some theological positions, some very interesting ones. The one I have for today is the purpose of of a mitzvot, or the mitzvah, if we're going to say singularly, and what the mitzvot are come from the 635, I believe it is, commandments that are found in the Torah, that is Genesis through Deuteronomy. There are several in there that can be classified as things you do when the temple existed. Now we don't do those anymore. There's also a group I like to classify as being Jewish, about cutting your hair and your clothing and food, the kosher foods, and depends on whether you wish to follow all those laws. But then there's two more categories, and it's love for God and love for neighbor. And those are the biggest of the categories. Now, why did God have to place these mitzvot into the Torah? Why does he have to tell us here are good things that you can do? And simply put, it's because Adam and Eve started in the Garden of Eden in paradise, and they sinned. They disobeyed God. Why would they disobey God? Well, they were given free will. There's a pretty cool mitzvah. I'm sorry, it's not a mitzvah, it's a midrash about how the serpent or the snake deceived Eve into violating God's commandment. But we're not going to talk about that here. You can find that in my Revealing Biblical Secrets videos. But here we're going to look at it and say, well, God gave us free will. Well, that means we have the free will to do lots of good things like the mitzvah, but we also have the ability to do a lot of bad things. And people like to do bad things, which is unfortunate. I was watching the news just an hour or so ago, and they're talking about these snatch and grab incidents where a large number of people decide to come together to steal from a store, and they break in with sledgehammers and whatever else they need, crowbars, and then they steal everything. And it's not just one person trying to like do a little shoplifting. It's a person who or people that are just stealing from the stores. And it's really sad that this happens because of course we know one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not steal. So as Adam and Eve had ruined or polluted paradise because they disobeyed God, so do we pollute God's world with all of these sins and negative actions that we're doing that go against the Torah. So, how do we clean it up? Well, that's where the mitzvot come in. For every time one of us does one of the mitzvot that is something good as God has defined it, that helps repair the fabric of the universe. I like to think of the fabric of this universe as being the power of God through light. And I like to use the word shalom for that. Shalom means hello, goodbye, it means peace. But the greater shalom is this fabric of the universe that God had created for good. And every time any of us sin, that puts holes into the fabric. So God gave us the mitzvah, the commandments, the positives and the negative ones, so that we can restore order. We can close those holes that are in the spiritual shalom of the universe and make things better. And it's our duty to do that, even though there are going to be people out there that will never commit a mitzvot, or I should say do a mitzvot. They commit sin, and sin will continue on and on and on. It's up to those of us who follow the Lord to correct things. And we need to be constantly trying to do this, and nothing should ever stop us. So the best thing you could do is to go into a search engine of some sort, I happen to like DuckDuckGo because you're not being traced like Google likes to do. And look up the mitzvot and try to do one every day consistently. For there is a midrash that tells us that when we get before the Lord on Judgment Day, He's not going to look at any of the negative things we've done in our lives. Instead, He's going to say, "What mitzvot did you perform for me on a regular basis?" So take that to your spiritual bank, and I hope that you follow what I was saying, found some value in it, and I will see you next time at the next informal chat. I don't have a scheduled time for it. That's why it's called informal. So God bless you, and as always, shalom.